It started like any other weekend gathering. Laughter mingled with soft conversation, while gentle music hummed under dim lights. Friends, colleagues, and casual acquaintances floated through the room, bathed in the warm glow of a lavish dinner party hosted by one of my wife's coworkers. I leaned against the bar, talking with an office friend, when my gaze drifted across the room and landed on Emily. She was stunning in a red silk dress, the kind that caught the light with every subtle movement. But it wasn't just her beauty that held my attention. It was the way she acted. She was standing far too close to a man I didn't recognize. Her hand lightly brushed his arm whenever she laughed. Her posture was loose, inviting. His confidence mirrored hers, too confident, and it twisted something deep inside me. A familiar ache of anger and disappointment settled in my chest. The subtle touches, the secret smiles, the whispers that weren't really whispers. I'd seen them all before. I told myself to stay calm, to maintain composure. But the longer I watched, the clearer it became. The woman in front of me wasn't the one who used to hold my hand like it was her lifeline. When I finally approached, she looked briefly startled before slipping into her usual charm. "Hey, babe," she said, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "This is Nick," she introduced. "He's new at work." Nick extended his hand, his grin too casual, too familiar. "Nice to meet you," he said smoothly. I shook it firmly, deliberately. Emily giggled, placing her hand on his shoulder, as if to ease some imagined tension. "Relax," she teased. "We were just talking about how harmless flirting keeps things interesting." Others around us laughed. I didn't. I looked at her, the tilt of her chin, the spark in her eyes thriving on attention, and something inside me clicked. I smiled faintly. "You're right, Emily. Being single will probably be fun, too." The laughter stopped. Her smile froze, and color drained from her face. "Wait, what do you mean by single?" she stammered. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. I turned and walked away, leaving her in the center of the room, surrounded by eyes that suddenly avoided hers. As I headed for the exit, I heard her faint, desperate voice behind me. "Jason, come on. It was just a joke." It wasn't a joke. Not to me. It was a final crack in something that had been quietly breaking for years. Back home, the silence was heavier than any argument we'd ever had. She tried to brush it off, tossing her purse on the couch. "You're really upset about that?" I was just being friendly. I met her gaze, calm but exhausted. "Friendly as saying hello, Emily. What you did was disrespectful." Her smirk wavered. "Oh, come on. You're overreacting." I shook my head with a quiet laugh. "No, I'm finally reacting. There's a difference." I walked to the bedroom and began packing a suitcase. She followed, panic replacing her confidence. "You can't be serious. You're leaving over a harmless joke." I zipped the bag closed and met her eyes. "You said flirting was harmless fun. Then I guess being single will be harmless too." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Jason, please, don't do this." But I was already gone in every way that mattered. I had spent years forgiving late-night texts, vague girls' nights, and her endless need for male attention. Every time she brushed it off. "It's nothing serious." "Don't be jealous." I had swallowed it. Jealousy was never the point. It was the quiet betrayal hidden behind her excuses. I walked past her, the sound of the door closing behind me feeling like liberation. The following days were filled with calls and messages, long paragraphs of regret, promises to change, tearful apologies. I didn't respond. Every word felt recycled, a script I no longer wanted to follow. She didn't miss me. She missed knowing I'd always come back. The truth was, she had stopped respecting me long before that night. The dinner party just made pretending impossible. Weeks later, a mutual friend told me she had become a shadow of herself. "She doesn't talk to anyone," he said. "She keeps asking if you're really gone for good." I told him the truth. Once you see your partner laughing with another man the way she used to laugh with you, something inside breaks. It doesn't heal, it just changes you. A month later, she appeared at my new place. Her eyes were red, her face pale. "Jason, please," she whispered. "I was stupid. I took you for granted." I'll do anything to fix this. I listened quietly, arms crossed. You can't fix what you chose to destroy, I said. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back gently. You didn't lose me at that party, Emily. You lost me every time you laughed at my trust. I closed the door that night for good. No anger, no bitterness, just peace. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life. A new city, a quiet apartment, a job that didn't remind me of her. Sometimes I thought that night, how her laughter died when I said those words. Being single will be fun, too. That silence said everything. Now, when people ask what happened between us, I don't go into details. I just smile and say, she thought flirting was harmless fun. I thought self-respect was too, and choosing it was the only way forward.